Hi, it's Dave. Today I'm going to walk you through exactly what I do to reset the entire electrical system on my 2013 Lexus RX350. Whether I've just replaced the battery, I'm chasing an electrical gremlin, or the ECU needs a clean slate. This is the full procedure I follow, start to finish. It covers the battery disconnect, the ECU reset, the power window initialization, and everything else that needs attention afterward. Now, a quick disclaimer. This is what I do on my vehicle. Every situation is different, so make sure you consult your owner's manual or take it to a qualified professional before working on your vehicle. All right, let's get into it. Make sure you like and subscribe and hit the bell icon so you'll know when I upload more videos. Before I start, I need to make sure I have a few things ready. First, I grab a 10mm wrench or socket. That's all I'll need for the battery terminals and for this vehicle. Next, I take a mental note of my memory seat positions down there, my mirror positions, and my radio presets. So if they're lost, I can set those back up later. I also make sure the vehicle is parked on a flat surface, the parking brake is on, and the ignition is completely off with the key removed. I want to make sure the system is fully shut down before I start. Okay, here's where the reset actually begins. I open the trunk and I locate the 12-volt battery. It should be right up in the front. Right here, this is the 12-volt battery. I always disconnect the negative terminal first. That usually has a black cable and a minus sign. I use the 10mm wrench to loosen it, and then I remove it and I tuck it to the side so that it can't make contact again by accident. I do the same thing with the positive terminal. That's the red terminal with a red wire, and it has a plus sign. Again, I loosen it with my 10mm wrench or socket. I loosen up, I take it off, and I put it to the side where it can't make contact again. Now here's the key step that a lot of people skip. I leave the battery disconnected for a minimum of 30 minutes. A lot of people say 15 minutes is enough, but I always go 30. The reason is the electronic control modules in this vehicle have capacitors inside. Those capacitors hold a residual charge. I want them fully drained, so every ECU, the engine computer, the transmission computer, all of them completely clear its volatile memory. That's what gives me a true and clean reset. While I'm waiting, I sometimes press the brake pedal a few times with the battery disconnected. That helps drain any remaining stored energy a little faster. But mostly, I just let it sit. After 30 minutes are up, I reconnect the battery. But the order matters here. Positive terminal first. That's the red cable and the plus sign. I put the terminal back on and I tighten the nut till it's nice and snug. I do the same thing with the negative terminal, which is the black cable and the minus sign. I put it on and I tighten the nut until it's nice and snug. Make sure both connections are clean and tight. A loose or corroded terminal will cause all kinds of problems, and I don't want to make a mistake between a bad connection and an electrical issue. Next, I get in the vehicle. Before I start the engine, I turn the ignition to the on position. I don't start it, I just turn it to the on position, and I let it sit there for about 10 to 15 seconds. This lets all the electronic modules power up and run their self-checks. If you have a push button start, like I do, you don't put your foot on the brake and push the button twice. That's how you turn it on without starting the engine. Then I go ahead and start the engine. Here's what I expect. The idle is going to be a little rough or a little high at first. That's completely normal. The ECU has lost its learned idle parameters, its fuel trim data, and its transmission shift adaptation. It needs to relearn all of that. What I do is let the engine idle undisturbed until it reaches full operating temperature. I don't touch the gas, I don't turn on the AC, I don't rev it, I just let it sit and idle. This usually takes about 10 minutes. During this time, the ECU is recalibrating its base idle speed and fuel mixture. After it's warmed up and the idle has settled down, I take it for a 15 to 20 minute drive, a mix of city and highway if I can. That lets the transmission control module relearn its shift points and the ECU dial in its fuel trims under real driving conditions. After a few drive cycles, everything feels completely normal again. Okay, I've completed the drive. The next step is the power window initialization. This is the step that catches a lot of people off guard. After the battery disconnect, the auto up and auto down feature on the power window stops working. The windows will still move, but only if I hold the switch. The one-touch feature is gone. That's because the window control module lost its position memory. Here's exactly what I do to reinitialize each window. 1, I start with the driver's window. Using the window switch, I roll the window all the way down to the bottom. I hold the switch in the down position for 2 to 3 seconds after the glass is fully open. 2, then I roll the window all the way back up. Once the glass is fully closed, I continue holding in the switch in the up position for 2 to 3 seconds. That's it for that window. This one touch, auto up and auto down, should work now. 3, I repeat this exact process for every window, from front passenger, rear left, rear right. I go to each door and I use the switch at that door. I don't use the driver's master switch. I roll it all the way down, hold it for 2 to 3 seconds, roll it all the way up, hold it for 2 to 3 seconds. Important note, I do not use the auto function during this process. I hold the switch manually the entire time. No quick tap and release. The system is learning the full travel range of each window and it needs that continuous input to calibrate. Once I've done all 4 windows, I test the one-touch function from the driver's master switch to make sure every window responds correctly. Next is the moonroof reset. If your RX350 has a moonroof, and most do, it needs to be initialized. I close the moonroof completely. Then I continue holding the button, the close switch, for about 10 seconds after it's fully shut. This lets the moonroof control module relearn its closed position. After that, the tilt and slide functions should work again normally. Next, I take care of the smaller stuff. I reset the clock. I reprogram my radio presets I repair my phone over Bluetooth if it didn't reconnect automatically. Mine did. I also reset my driver's seat memory and my side mirror positions. On a 2013 RX350, I adjust the seat and mirrors where I want them and save them to the memory buttons, same as when I first set the car up. If my steering wheel position was saved to a memory preset, I reset that too. After the full reset, there's a few things I keep an eye out for. The check engine light or warning lights. It's normal for some lights to appear briefly in the first start and then go out. If anything stays on after a couple of drive cycles, that's worth investigating. My maintenance required light is on, but that's because I need an oil change, so don't worry about that. Idle quality. Like I said, it takes a few drive cycles for the ECU to fully relearn. If the idle is slightly rough or shifts feel a little off for the first day or two, don't panic. It usually sorts itself out. Immobilizer. In rare cases, the security system might need to resync with the key. If the engine won't start and the security light is flashing, I hold the key in the ignition in the on position for about 30 seconds to let it re-authenticate. Now, same thing, if you have a push button like I do, that's just pushing it twice without your foot on the brake. I haven't experienced those problems. And that's the complete electrical system reset on a 2013 Lexus RX350. Battery disconnect, 30-minute wait, reconnect in the right order, idle relearn, window initialization, moonroof reset, and reprogramming all the personal settings. I do this anytime I replace the battery or need to clear out an electrical issue. It works every time for me. If this helped you out, hit that like and subscribe. I've got more content coming. Drop any questions in the comments. Thanks a lot for watching. Best of luck in your automotive and repair adventures. See you next time.